Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keo, resolved that the regular meeting commence at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that council acknowledges that we are meeting in the Robinson Superior Treaty area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations, but we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbors, the community of Bigtacon Nishnabek and Pic Mobert First Nation. We wish to recognize a long history of First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? Okay, additions and or deletions to the agenda?
There are two. Addition to agenda item number 1501, section 239(2)F, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Divisional court update. Deletion to agenda item number 0601, regular council meeting minutes dated May 24th, 2023, be deleted from the agenda.
Thank you. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. Approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Keo, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Resolved that the agenda be approved as amended, and further that council directs the clerk to bring back the regular council meeting minutes dated May 24th, 2023 for approval. All in favor? Adoption of the minutes. I don't have any. No petitions, correspondence. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keo, resolved that correspondence item 0801 to 0802 be received and filed. All in favor? Nothing brought down, so just leave that blank. Okay, reports and committees. Moved by Councillor Keo, seconded by Councillor Kotick, resolved that the minutes of the meeting of the Manitowoc Public Library Board be held April 17th, 2023 be accepted as received. All in favor? Okay, I have nothing for update this week, I'm sorry. So I will pass it all over to Florence.
Thank you, for you, Mr. Chair. A few updates. We did have thermomechanical in Manitowoc last week to have a look at the pool. They have identified some needed repair work, and they are back in the bay to put together a quote for us, complete with the scope of work and the costing. And once we receive that, we may have to call a special meeting of council later this month or early July to have council review that and give direction to staff. Also, for Seniors Month, Mayor and Council are generously sponsoring a coffee and tea drop-in in partnership with the Manitowoc Golden Age Center. It's taking place on Friday, June 23rd between 10 a.m. and noon. And the location is at the Golden Age Center, and everyone is welcome to attend that. And then additionally, planning for Canada Day is well underway, complete with the barbecue, games, and fireworks at dusk. And to stay up to date on all the activities taking place on July 1st, please visit the Township's Community Services Facebook page.
Thank you. Okay, on to business. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keo, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report admin 2023-20 submitted by Jolene Keo, clerk, regarding a council vacancy policy.
Thank you, through the chair. This policy is before you for consideration, as we do have a council vacancy at the moment, and we do not have a policy that would depict any procedures to follow in filling that vacancy. So in the policy, we are depicting 3 methods to fill that vacancy and which are allowed under the Municipal Act. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you. And further that council approves policy number admin 2023-01, council vacancy policy as attached. And now, do we select?
No, that will be the next resolution
That's-
item on the
okay.
agenda.
Okay. Okay, so all in favor of policy, right?
Yeah, if you read in further, and then the next item on the agenda will
Okay.
be declaring.
Right. Okay, as that council will select one of the procedures identified in the policy to fill the vacancy on council and will affirm by resolution. All in favor? Now. Moved by Councillor Keo, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Resolved that council hereby declares the seat of one councillor vacant pursuant to Municipal Act 2001. And
Thank you through the chair. So this resolution is required under the Municipal Act that council declares the vacancy. Further to this resolution will be council selecting an approved method and approving a method that they would like to see to fill that vacancy. So in the council vacancy policy, there are 3 options available: appointment of previous election candidate, open call for applications for appointment, and a by-election.
any discussion on this?
As much as I'd love to buy election, my understanding is it costs as much as normal elections, so. Taking that into consideration, I do think the open call for applications would be the best option for us to.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, I agree with Councillor Kotick about the applications for appointment. It's definitely unnecessary spending taxpayers' money for a by-election.
Okay, thank you, and I agree. I think the way to go would be for an open call for applications for appointment. Okay. So that council approve the following method under the council vacancy policy to select a candidate to fill the vacancy, which is open call for application for appointment. All in favor? Okay, next. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keel, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report TR 2023-02 submitted by Aaron McGregor, Deputy Treasurer, regarding water and sewer levies. Mr. McGregor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you, good evening, everyone. So at our last council meeting, council directed staff to produce a water and sewer levy proposal. And you've all received report TR 2023-02, which outlines our proposed options with respect to water and sewer billing. So I'll go over a brief overview of how these options were put together, and then also provide a recommendation as far as which option I think would be best, and it's council's decision. So we aggregated annual revenues based on history from Q2 2022 through Q1 2023. So we looked at 1 year of water and sewer system revenues, and we categorized these revenues by single residential, multi-residential, and commercial. Now, these options were drawn up such that option A is a status quo structure where total revenue by these groups single residential, multi-residential, and commercial are held neutral. Of course, there are changes within the groups, so some residences will end up paying more, some residences will end up paying less. Some commercial properties will pay more, some commercial properties will pay less, but the increases and decreases refer to the totals for these groups. So option A was, again, it held these categories consistent with the past, so there will be no change to total revenue for any of the options, but in this case, no change to the total revenue by category either. Accompanying these options are some information about what increases will look like to users of the system. For option A, we're looking at 56.9% of single residential properties seeing a quarterly increase of no more than $25 a quarter. So this would be 56.9% that either save or have an increase of $100 per year. Option B is 59.1% will see an increase of no more than $100 a year. Option C is 54.6%, and then option D is 52.5%. Now, council's been provided with some additional information with respect to account history for some individual accounts. This history illustrates what each of these options will look like for these commercial and multi-residential properties. My recommendation would be that council select option C or option D, as these options would have the minimal impact on our multi-residential and commercial users, while still having a minimal impact on residential customers. As you can see in the report, the differences between these options for residential customers are minor. We're talking about a range from $788 a quarter to $828 a quarter. So the difference of approximately $40 per quarter or $60 per year between these two options. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. It's about $5 difference between the options. So $192 a quarter to $207 a quarter. So that difference of $40 is an annual difference between the highest and lowest options.
That would be $15
So,
times 4 would be $60. Right.
it's in this report. No, that's the.
Sorry.
And there's a lot of information on these charts, of course, so of course, I'll be opening it up to
So-
any questions.
But 192 to 207 is $15 per quarter, from the lowest to the highest, which is $60 annual per residence.
Yes, a $15 spread between the lowest and the highest option. per
Correct.
Quarter, and that would be 60 if you're not in. So you had an opportunity to review the report, and my recommendation would be either option C or option D. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them now.
Anything?
Through the chair, just thanks for going into great depth on this, so we can properly make a decision, even though it's not an easy one. And it was definitely more straightforward with either no meter or fixed rate. And it's definitely a lot to think about, but thanks for this going in depth on this. It just makes it know in the end that we're making the right decision.
Okay, I'd like to add the 56% you said that was going to be. Would decrease their rate, so is that roughly 500 homes? Out of the 909?
So which option? Were we looking at option?
No, I'm just thinking in general, when you said there was a 56% of people would have a decrease, the same or decrease in the amount that they pay.
So it depends on which option is chosen.
Okay,
Speak to a specific option if you'd like. the number varies depending on what we choose as a property.
Okay, but it's in that ballpark.
It's in the ballpark. The
Okay.
range is 52.5 to 59.1%. And it's not that they'll see savings, it's that they'll either see savings or an increase of no more than $100 per year. So this is the number of properties that will see either a modest increase or savings.
Okay, I feel bad for the people that it will affect, you know, with an increase. But overall, like with the open house we had last night, there was a lot of questions answered, a lot of concerned citizens were here. I think they all left on a good note. So, I mean, I can apologize on behalf of council for the people that will have to pay more. But even with the voting online in my Manitowoc, I mean, wasn't a big margin, but it was 51% of people wanted to go with the flat rate. So I think that is definitely the way to go. As far as the option, my thoughts are to have the residents pay the least amount possible. So my choice would be option B. I know it's not a big difference, but I still would like to see each household pay the least amount that they can in these options. Okay, any other thoughts?
Through the chair, no, we definitely can't keep going on and spending taxpayers' money on water meters that do have a shelf life, you know. That's just that's not the right thing to do. We'll be in the same boat in 15 years from now or whatever, and you know, this money gets made up somewhere, you know, and then you know, it's in taxation, right? So the flat rate is probably the better balance of the two, and I'm gonna have to go with option B for the residents of Manitowoc.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards option B, just the higher percentage of people who is impacted, I think is, given the contention of this for amongst our seniors, I think it's a good compromise to look at option as compared to the 4% household. I know the percentage part is not huge, but it does matter in the grand scheme.
Yeah, and some of the people that will be affected on the commercial end with a higher rate. You know, if they are locals, they are saving on the residential end. So that also helps a little bit of balance in their pocketbook. So. That is I think we're pretty solid on the option. Okay, thank you for all your work, Aaron. I can tell that spent many hours on this, and believe it or not, residents of Manitowoc, in the big picture, this is definitely the way to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so. Further resolve that council adopt the water and sewer levy structure option B. To be implemented effective July 1st, 2023, and billed following the same schedule as final property tax installments. And that doesn't apply, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and further that council direct staff to create and amend the applicable bylaws for council approval. All in favor? Okay. Now we're on to bylaws. Okay. Moved by Councillor Keough, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Being a bylaw to adopt council vacancy policy, be read a first and second time. And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2023-23. All in favor? Yeah, his name should be erased there. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keough, whereas section 239(4) of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C 25 provides that before holding a meeting or part of a meeting, that is to be closed to the public, a municipality or local board or committee of either of them shall state by resolution the fact of holding the closed meeting and the general nature of the matter to be considered at the closed meeting. Now therefore, be it resolved that the meeting is hereby closed to the public as the subject matter being discussed falls under the following section. Section 239(2)(f). Advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communication necessary for that purpose. Divisional court update. All in favor?